Hi, this is Jessica with Dining Traveler, and I'm in Loudoun County, Virginia. It's a beautiful sunny day, and in Middleburg at Cana Winery, and I'm here with the winemaker, Melanie Natoli, and she's going to tell us all about what you guys do here. So, first of all, how did you end up from Jersey to here?
Oh boy, how much time do we have? It's a bit of a long story.
Condensed version.
Condensed version. Grew up in Jersey, went to school in Pennsylvania for a master's in physical therapy, of course, because what other path would you take prior to becoming a winemaker? Graduated school, went to Africa in the Peace Corps, came back home, worked in about 5 different states as a physical therapist in every kind of part of the field you could.
Oh, wow.
And realized that my real passion was wine.
Okay.
And said, oh boy, okay, you know. My original thought was always someday I'll retire, I'll open up a winery. I was smart enough to realize a couple things. At that point, I was probably 5 years into my career. Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably, and I was happy with what I was doing.
Okay.
But would I make it to retirement still happy, already looking at the next thing, mm-hmm. right? And I probably wasn't going to retire with the money I needed to open a winery, right? So I started working in a tasting room on the weekends. Like a lot of people do, right? You work your job during the week, you work on the weekends, just to kind of get closer to it. Fell more and more in love with it. This is already here in Virginia at the time. And got to the point where I'm like, no, this is really what I want to do. Good thing, physical therapy is a wonderful career and there was always work for me. So I switched and I worked per diem, and I worked 3 days a week as a physical therapist, and 3 days a week I would intern and apprentice in the cellar and in the vineyard here in Virginia for 2 years until I made that final push to full-time in the wine industry.
And we're at Cana, beautiful winery. It's huge. You guys grow your own grapes. So can you tell us a little bit what you guys do here, and what are those highlights? Like, what are those wine varieties that you thrive on?
Yep. So here at the winery in our estate vineyard, it's about 7.5 acres. So I have 3 reds and we'll say 1.5 whites, because I'm about to transition one of them next year, in ground here. It doesn't give us everything we need to produce, so I have some great partner growers around the state that I also work with. But as far as the wines that we produce here at Cana, the 2 that come from the estate, this is one of them. So this is our Petit Manseng. Petit Manseng is a grape that I absolutely adore, and I think it's really a shining start here in Virginia, because people that are really into wine will know of it, where it's from in France, and it's usually used as dessert wine there. But a lot of people, oh, it's not Merlot, Chardonnay, Cabernet Franc, Cabernet Sauvignon. There's grapes that a lot of people know that are planted everywhere. Petit Manseng is definitely not one of them, right? I mean, even like Malbec, you know more because it's all over Argentina. We're smaller. Yeah. Our industry is smaller, so even if it's a grape that we make a lot of people still don't know it. And it's definitely one of my favorites. It's a star in the vineyard. So looking at our vineyard here, it's challenging to grow grapes in Virginia, right? Yeah. Think about our summers, humidity.
And that's what I was going to ask, like, what makes this a region so unique for wine growing? And it's like the oldest wine growing region in the United States, from as far as I know.
It is.
Kind of, sort of.
It is, but not successfully.
Yeah.
We have figured it out now, though. And I think kind of what makes us unique is probably what makes it a challenge here, too, right? This is not the Mediterranean. It's not dry California. We have weather. Yeah. We have weather. In some regions, they can make a wine that tastes very similar every single year. Something to be said for that. You know what to expect, and we certainly have our benchmarks that we strive for, but the weather's going to do whatever the weather's going to do. And I go into every harvest with a really good plan. I've got the spreadsheet out. This is what this wine's going to go and what I'm going to do with it. And then Mother Nature does whatever she pleases, and I erase. That's a good plan, but it's in pencil, and you work with it, right? You could try to say, I really wanted to make a Petit Manseng in this style this year, and then something happened. And you can try to still make that wine, but you're not going to show the best of what you could have for that year. Yeah. So you change your plan, and you go with it. 2018, most challenging year on record. I made a Petit Manseng in that year that I'll never make again. It was this dry, light, delicate wine, because that's what it needed to be. That wasn't my plan before the season happened, but I'm like, okay, what can we do? What is the best we can show from this year?
So what do we have here? Tell us
So this is our estate Petit Manseng. So again, there's 2 wines that come off the estate. The white wine is the Petit Manseng. I do grow a little bit of Viognier that sometimes gets blended in. This one is 100% Petit Manseng. The red wine from the estate, just for a second, is the Unité Reserve. And that will be a blend of my 3 red varietals, which are Merlot, Cabernet Franc, and Petit Verdot. The actual blend will change every year. I'll pick them separate. I'll ferment them separate. They'll age out in their own barrels. And about this time, which I did a couple weeks ago, I'll taste through all the barrels and I'll put the very best pieces together. So my goal with that wine is to show you the best of that year and this site.
Let's see.
This is the white, so Petit Manseng. I know you've
cheers.
tasted in Virginia before. Have you had it before?
I have not had this. Maybe I have, I don't remember it, so I feel like this is going to be my first time. So.
I'm very excited to introduce you to it.
It's very floral, and it's the perfect wine to have in this beautiful space, right?
So I wanted to bring something out that was as lively as the day. So Petit Manseng, originally from France and often used as a dessert wine there because it has tiny, tiny little berries, petite, right? Which is, tiny little berries, so they're packed with flavor, right? This is, this wine packs a punch for as much as the aromatics and the fruit and everything that it throws at you. It's a lot for that little grape. So the skins are thicker, but that's why it's such a star in the vineyard for us. Think about that, those humid days, the grapes are wet, the skins are wet. It's getting nice and warm. Things like mold and mildew all want to grow on that. But those skins are so tough that they don't break down as quick as some of the other grapes will.
And this is like, even though you have a little bit of the sweetness, it's still crisp enough that I'm not a big fan of super dessert sweet wines, but it's a good balance. Like I have a friend that loves sweet wines and I was like, oh, we can drink this together.
Yes, you can
like we're
find
both going to be okay.
ground, right?
In many ways, this is like being a mom, like, you raise your kids, like your wines, and it's hard to pick favorites, but is there a particular vintage that you're like, yes, that was the year, like I don't want to sell half of these wines because I want to keep them to myself?
So I'll tell you what, I'm not a parent, except for my dog and my babies.
That counts.
And my babies, my wine, my heart is in my wines. I'm very attached to all of them. But I have a feeling, a mom wouldn't say it on the record, but I bet she's got favorites too.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So vintage-wise, 2019 was one of my favorites. So my first vintage on the production side in Virginia was 2009. That was as an intern. 2011 as assistant winemaker. I would say into 2013, I'm really figuring out who I want to be as a winemaker and how I want to craft my wines. So there's a learning curve there for sure, right? So it's got to be a later vintage because I'm figuring out what I want to do. But then the weather plays into it big time, right? So 2019 was beautiful, and maybe part of it is that it followed 2018, right? It followed our most challenging vintage, and it's like
So it was like this relief.
We feel that I really do feel like we were owed 2019. That kept us all like happy and wanting to still do this and not feeling as beaten down as we did. But it was a beautiful year. It was dry, but not too dry. Plenty of sunshine. Warm, but not super hot. If it gets too hot, that just kind of puts wines out of balance too. You really don't want that either. So 2019, the exciting thing about that is right now in the cellar, I'm putting my reds together. So I'll barrel age my reds for about a year and a half. So those red wines from that vintage are still in barrel, spread out all over the floor down in my cellar right now. And as soon as we finish, I'm gonna start pumping them to tank to put the blends together for those reds. So I recently tasted them for the first time in about a year, and I'm ecstatic. I'm so excited to bring those wines out.
Well, Melanie, thank you so much for having us here. Guys, make sure to check out Cana Wineries. They have a gorgeous outdoor area so you can get your drink on here, nice and relaxed this summer. And again, thank you so much. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.